you are gonna go right there. Yep. So a couple years back, I had Instagram. That's how I know it was a couple years back. And there was this account I followed. It was like a Cage the Elephant fan account or something. And it was a girl who ran it. And one day she made a post, and it was just a text post, like it was just background and just had text. And it was describing how all of her friends, like all of her girlfriends, would all have like these talks all the time about how guys were so annoying because guys were always like coming up to them and flirting with them and stopping them on their way to go do stuff. And like they couldn't even get a coffee without a guy hitting on them. And it was just like so annoying. And she saw that and just like said after that how she was envious. Like she felt like an envy in a way, and a jealousy, because no guys ever hit on her. No guys ever, you know, like flirted with her or anything. And she just had to sit there and listen to all of her girlfriends sit and talk about how annoying guys are for always like bothering them and stuff, hitting on them and shit like that. And as a guy, I read that, I was like, damn, that would suck. This was like a couple of years ago. And I feel like there's a wrong way to interpret that as a guy as well. Like you could take it the wrong way, definitely. But I just hope that there's no way she hasn't, but like reading that and like, damn, that sucks. But knowing that like she was putting, you know, her self-esteem and her self-worth and her well-being in the hands of like guys, that's not a good idea. You know, don't leave that up to a guy. Never leave, you know, how you feel about yourself in the hands of a man. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. But that just like, you know, I never considered that before. Because like, it's guys, you just don't talk about that. Like you don't have girls constantly coming up to you and hitting on you and stuff. I always know the guys I talk to do. It's like, man, that would, but to have to listen to that. And yeah, it's also just kind of like a people thing. Like don't put your sense of well-being, don't let it rely on other people. Make it come within, you know, especially not men. Do not let it rely on a man. You're going to a fall right there. Like whoever wrote I Heart Ryan right here, you don't love him. You don't really love Ryan, do you? No. But yeah, and that definitely wasn't the first one, but there is a time, like as a guy, I would hope every guy experiences this, where they realize that being a girl kind of sucks compared to being a guy. Like you realize that being born a guy and raised male is like fortunate in a way. Like you're fortunate to have had that, because it's not like being a girl sucks, or like there's a lot of ugly things about being a girl. There are plenty of beautiful things about being a woman and girlhood and womanhood, but it's just that like there's so many ugly things too that you don't even think about. They don't even cross your mind as a guy. Just simply because, you know, like it just, you're just doing your thing, you know. Like what's the biggest guy problem has that girls don't have, you know? Like, oh man, my balls itch. Shit. Like, oh God, Jesus. How what a travesty. Versus like the issues that girls can have that guys never will have. And I mean, I could go my whole life without ever stopping to think about what it's like to be a girl. I could do it. But what kind of man would that make me be, you know? Because in relationships to anyone, whether it be guys or girls, there's this seeking of understanding that you kind of have to have if you want to be a good person around them. Because you don't naturally get that as a guy. Frick Sheldon. Yeah, see, she gets it. Whoever Sheldon is. This bridge has some good writing. I'll have to do like a tour afterwards. But yeah, like, you don't have to ever, you know, stop and think about what it's like to be a girl as a guy. You don't have to. And I'm sure there are guys that don't. They never stop and think about what it's like to be a girl. But the thing is I can't ever know truly what it's like. I don't ever get to know. And that's just kind of how it is because, you know, I'm a dude. I mean, I have long hair and stuff, and, you know, I do nursing, but it's more of like a sympathy than an empathy. Like, yeah, I can stop and think about what it's like to be a girl, and I can read and listen to what girls have to say and observe from my perspective. But that's all it is. It's an outsider's perspective. I don't ever get to know. And I'm probably fortunate for that. But in many a way, I am fortunate for not getting to know. Like, there are some things you don't want to know. But it's just unfortunate. That's how it is. And what that kind of ties into as well, like, I just kind of have some anecdotes to share with you and just observations from a man on what it's like being a girl. Because I know a man, leave it up to a man to say what it's like to be a girl. I don't know. I can just share my opinion though, can I? Or like my things, and you can tell me how horribly wrong I am. But on that same vein of like the girl who posted that thing on the like Instagram fan page or whatever, beauty seems to be sort of like twisted for girls. Like, it almost seems like it's been hijacked in a way, and it's like been blown out of proportion or something. Like, it causes way too much stress than it ever should. What's the word? There's a phrase. It's the commodification of beauty. Like, that's just something that I heard. I'm like, that's a really good way of conceptualizing that though. And I don't even understand it really, because I've never lived it. Yeah, like, I can sympathize with it, but to truly empathize, I can't walk in those shoes. I can only imagine what it's like to walk in those shoes by like empathize and sympathize. You know, I don't have my moon every month. I'm not that connected to the earth, the Mother Earth. And yeah, like, I really don't understand that concept, but it seems like it's a very real thing, like a very tangible thing. And with beauty and being a girl, it's got to be, I don't know, it just seems, I don't know, that's the thing. But one thing I heard also was it was a video on a girl talking about, I think that's maybe where I heard the commodification of beauty from, but she was talking about being in a relationship with guys and, bless me, and having like her perception kind of be based around how guys perceived her and like altering herself because of that. And she just like stopped at one point and was like, why am I trying to meet what a man expects of me? Why am I, worrying, like wasting my energy and time and thought over what a man expects me to look like and what a man expects me to act like? Because it's just a man, right? Like, but I could see how that would get like so in your head about that stuff, and to realize that like, why should I be concerned with how men perceive me? It's just some guy. And yeah, I can picture that. I don't know, the full context of it and everything like that, and what you have to like, experience, what would lead you to come to that conclusion, what time in your life where you hadn't had that conclusion, and how not believing in that or not accepting that thought, how that would kind of lead you into like unsavory places. Because really, like, why change yourself for a man? It seems like it would just cause you a lot of trouble. When really, yeah, it's nothing, hon, And it sort of goes that way for like guys too, because there's a whole thing with like makeup. Like, I've talked to guys about makeup, and every single like guy friend I have seems to be under the assumption that like girls put on makeup 100% solely for no other reason but to impress guys. And I'm just kind of like, really? Is that so? It's like, I'm pretty sure you're wearing cologne right now, right? And, you're not wearing like a wrinkled shirt that was on the floor, like you picked up a new one from the closet. It's like guys just don't seem to be held to the same standards that girls are with beauty. And it's all set up by men too. Like, it's all put out there by man. Not like man as in mankind, but like a man is the one that like sets these things. And like creates competition and stuff where it's like, come on, But it's like, for all girls to just put on makeup, for guys, it's like, I always question the guy. I'm like, do you not like also do that, just for, not like for yourself, but kind of just for yourself, to just not feel like a schmuck, to not feel like, nasty. Like, you put on cologne, not just because you're super like self-conscious and aware of what other people are thinking about you, and all of the girls are out there and how they're going to be sniffing you and stuff. Oh, I got to be ready for when Lisa sniffs me, But you just do it because you feel it feels good to smell good. It feels good to look good. Like, you look in the mirror and it's like, yeah, damn, I look good. You put on that new shirt, you hit the gym and you look at yourself in the mirror, it's like, damn, I look good. That feels good. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm just putting on makeup so Tony will like it. No, that's not all there is to it. And that's just an assumption for me. That's not even an observation. I hope I'm not wrong on that. No, I can't be wrong on that. No, I'm a man. I'm right, And another thing that like ties into the whole relationships, I can't get into like romantic relationships from a female's perspective here, because that would be like, I have no qualification to talk about that. I have no qualification whatsoever to speak on those matters. But like friendships, for example, I have heard this expressed from, I want to quote, there's a song that really like encapsulated that. This is like me going back to a point I was just talking about earlier. But there's a lyric and it talks about that whole like changing yourself to, you know, meet the status quo or what is expected of you in the eyes of a man. It's like, goes, if I weren't pretty, what would I be? Sort of that like commodification of beauty thing, and how it's been kind of like hijacked and twisted for women. It feels like, if I weren't pretty, what would I be? Damn. Do you think a guy really thinks about that? Like, think if a guy heard that lyric and he just like sat there, would he really like, would that like hit home or anything? Like if a man listened to that, it just doesn't feel like it. I don't imagine it would. Yeah, what was I talking about? Friendships though. So with friendships as a girl, it seems like it's different from a guy too, from the perspective of a guy too. And I've heard this expressed as that, like from a girl, like I actually talked to a girl. Are you proud of me? But that it's easier as a girl to befriend guys than it is girls. Like other girls seem more judgmental than guys do. And bless me, she told me that, and I was just like, I just like immediately thought, I was like, as a guy, am I really like judging girls whenever they try and talk to me? I'm like, no, not really. It's just like, oh cool, we're friends, you know? It's like, hey, what's up, man? Like fist bump, you know? Did you listen to that? You listen to Jeff Buckley? Like, oh, me too, dude. You know, like there's nothing more to it. Like, you want to sit together, man? But if like she expressed that with girls, it feels more like judgmental, and it's harder to like kind of get into the group because they're like, she said like there's things you'll do that you don't even know that you did to like irk this group of girls and something. But with guys, it's like they don't even care. Like, yeah, I'm afraid to talk to women too. I mean, yeah, girls are judgmental to me. No, like, and one of the things that I would imagine it could be described over, and she told me about this too, is like a lot of times girls will fight, like break up groups or like break up friendships and stuff over a guy. And I'm like, over a guy? That's dumb. She's like, yeah, I know, it is dumb. But she like told me how she had experienced that in the past and how she had taken part in that over just some guy, like a man. Really? Like we're gonna end this friendship over a man? Like, isn't there anything else better, you know, more worth our time than a man? And it's like, yeah, what? I don't know if there's like a sort of competitive thing about it. Is there? I don't know. I mean, if there is, you know, where are all the girls competing over me? Hey, cut that part. Yeah, but, and then on the other hand, you have a girl who's like friends with a guy. She's just friends with a guy. And then like, I see this expressed a lot in my guy friends, where they're like, yeah, bro, she led me on. Like, I asked her out after we talked for like 72 hours, man, and she didn't even want to go on a date with me. No, it's usually longer than like 72 hours. It's like a month or something. But it's like, yeah, bro, what up? You know, she led me on. I was like, dude, do you realize like you're getting mad at someone for being nice to you? You're getting mad at someone for being a friend. what do you expect of them? And why is it the girl's fault, or like why is it her responsibility to be like, yeah, oh, by the way, let me inform you, friend, under no circumstances, like read out of like a contract or something, like how like this is not going to turn into a relationship. It's like, dude, where are your expectations, man? Like, expectations are the thief of joy, brother. And then you're gonna get mad at her. How does that make sense? Like, make that make sense. I don't get that. Canned dry. Boy, do I love me some canned dry. It really is just canned dry. I mean, like, the only thing you want to drink while drink this like actually makes you want to drink water. Like, water would be your chaser. Like, you'd take a sip of this and just have, like, God forbid, Dasani or something like that. Don't even, like, this is not going to be another mug, root beer, Barks, and AW. Everyone hates Dasani. Nobody likes Dasani. But yeah, like, how guys get mad at you for just being nice. It's like, dude. And then they blame her, like, blame the girl for, like, leading you on. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, we're just human and it happens and stuff, but don't take it out on her, dude. Like, that's just unprofessional. They don't need all that. Yeah. What else? There was one that was kind of like soul crushing, man. So like the kind of life I live, obviously, like, we're under a bridge right now. Okay. This I swear it ties into this. Me being under a bridge right now. I hope you assimilated that, just from ACH. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so there was, I think it was a video of a girl, and she had like just graduated high school or graduated college or something, and like she was an adult now and was ready to go live her adult life. Well, she wanted to travel, just like, because you're young. Like, I get that. I want to go do that stuff too. What am I doing right now? But she, like, every time she expressed that, her dream was like traveling and seeing all these places and going and doing all this stuff while she was young, before she like really settled down and got a job everywhere, and just knowing what was out there. Everyone met her with the sort of like some kind of like red alarm was going off, like caution, like hazard, you are a woman, like, you can't just go out and explore the world. What are you thinking? Are you crazy? Like, you get murdered, you'll get raped or something. Like, just everybody she told that to, it's like, oh, well, are you gonna have a man with you whenever you do that? Because you can't just do that as a woman. And she's like, what's the point in living in a society where I can't even like travel? I can't even go anywhere without a man protecting me. Or it's like it just being too dangerous for a woman to travel alone. It's like, like, I'm the problem. It's me, I'm the problem. Because like, if she was a guy, nobody would say anything about that. They'd just be like, yeah, go get him, dude. Like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, go take a bunch of pictures, go live your life, man. But since she's a girl, she doesn't get to do that. Like, it's so unfortunate. It's just so unsavory. Compared to a guy. The female's experience compared to the male's experience. think the best thing you can do as a guy would be to seek understanding. And this is really just a human thing. I very much value seeking understanding with people. And as a guy, we can't empathize, you know. We can't share the experience. We will never have the same experience and that level of empathy, but we can certainly sympathize. And it's up to us to do that. But, you know, what kind of person does it make you if you never consider another person's point of views? Or if you're a man, if you never consider a woman's point of view on things? What kind of man does that make you? Is that, you know, someone who would make a good father, make a good brother, anything like that, make a good railroad engineer? I don't know. They see the woman tied up on the tracks, you know, like, oh no, she's fine. Women are invulnerable to trains. Yeah, I know this because I'm a man. You know, like, I hope, like, Casey Jones didn't do all that. He better not have. He was a man after all. Can we really trust him? Yeah. No, I think as long as you're a guy and you just aim to sympathize and seek understanding with women, I'll do A-okay, brother. You know, man, like, just, like, look at a lady and be like, oh, man, like, what if I, you know, I don't know. You know, like, to the guys out there, stop standing around the truck drinking beer and just saying yup and being satisfied with life. Think about it. Like, it's funny because that's kind of all it takes for a guy to be happy or be, like, content. It's just, like, stand around the truck and, like, sip on a beer with, like, you know, like, baseball on the TV and a pit bull or something sitting there. A TV dinner. That's all it takes to be happy as a guy. It's funny. Yeah. And I guess, like, embrace femininity too. I don't really know what all that means, like, what that really means. And I mean, at this point, I'm very uneducated too, on, like, what it's like to be a girl and stuff. And I should definitely keep learning on the subject and talk to more girls and women or whatever, to seek understanding as a responsibility for myself. Yeah, sounds good. Well, this will be the video that gets me canceled. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. There are a lot more things that are just unsavory in the experience of a female versus a male. But yeah, that's all I got. Yeah. I hope it's not blurry. Better not be.